We started off this lecture with a discussion of a brief set of analytics uses in value-based care. To conclude, I want to reiterate the importance of using analytics not only for value-based care, but for business intelligence, clinical intelligence, population health, case management, and even intelligent interoperability and a means to overcome cybersecurity threats. These 6 use cases are the most common uses for analytics. For value-based care, obviously contracting and managing risk associated with those contracts would be top of mind. Performance, severity, and case mix adjusted profiling would be needed to further understand risk and where adjustments can be made, including providing guidance at the point of care. Resource utilization, obviously focused on hospitalizations and emergency departments, as well as other forms of avoidable care, should be considered as important in making adjustments to risk. Relationship forming is also considered very important. We've previously discussed narrow networks where referrals should be made to those not only within the health plan's network of preferred providers, but to those providers who are known to deliver high-quality, low-cost care. Relationship forming is also important with respect to long-term and post-acute care, and even to social services in the community and family caregivers. Business intelligence focuses on revenue cycle, but could also focus on investments, mergers, acquisitions, and other means to mitigate risk, and cost factors, fraud detection and prevention, and competitive effectiveness, also important to mergers and acquisitions. Clinical intelligence use cases include clinical decision support, guidelines, protocols development and use, gaps in care, referral guidance, and precision genomic medicine. These should be available at the point of care where decision making can be made with the most specific information possible and with the patient. Population health is another use case for analytics. We're going to devote Unit 8 to discussing population health in depth, but this would certainly encompass provider attribution, patient risk stratification, market needs analysis studies of at-risk populations, disease registries, patient satisfaction engagement, portal usage, personal health record usage, cost transparency, consumerism, and social determinants of health. Just as an example of one of these, today social determinants of health are not collected by most providers and certainly are not accommodated in EHR systems. What exactly is meant by social determinants of health is even under scrutiny. Which determinants have the most impact on what? Should the focus be on prevention or treatment, on chronic disease or wellness, etc.? There are many things to be learned, and hopefully we will be able to learn from our business and clinical intelligence analytics processing. Closely related to population health is care management, and in integrating population health and care management with value-based care, we are looking at use cases of care coordination, patient navigation, gaps in care, and medication reconciliation as just a few. Finally, in our last unit, I mentioned that interoperability of information systems can be improved through use of analytics. Decentralization for legacy systems may sound like creating more silos, but in fact it is a way to push all data from all silos into a virtual one. That is, distributed processing as we discussed with the big data analytics. This could even be extended to incorporate data from the Internet of Medical Things. Now lastly, we want to acknowledge that there are certainly challenges in analytics and big data, literally at every step along the way. The following points are taken from a publication called The Top 10 Challenges of Big Data Analytics in Healthcare, which was published in 2017 Health IT Analytics. Data capture is crucial to ensuring good data for analytics. Data quality issues, poor EHR usability, and convoluted workflows, which we'll be addressing in the next unit, must be overcome in order to produce good intelligence from analytics on big data. Cleaning, also called cleansing or scrubbing, we've talked about for claims data and have used for a long time. Similar processes are needed for patient identification and integration and reconciliation of clinical data with patient-reported data for analytics products to be useful. Storage, expansion, and security through cloud storage is becoming increasingly popular. Cloud affords lower cost, nimble disaster recovery, and easy expansion. We are well on our way to using the cloud for this purpose in healthcare, yet there are still some who do not trust it fully. Security for the ever-increasing amount and importance of data requires enforcement of common sense procedures and addressing human factors that put data at risk. In fact, common sense procedures such as keeping patches current and the human factor are the two biggest issues we face in security, and we've discussed this previously. Stewardship. All who collect, analyze, and use data must consider themselves data stewards. These are our end users, our nurses, doctors, finance persons, registration staff, etc., etc. Formal data stewardship protocols or assignment of a data steward could ensure proper curation of metadata and reduce what we call data dumpsters, which we simply put data because we don't know what to do with it, and oftentimes finding the quality is so poor for our data that we don't even want to do anything with it. Querying for data, better understanding the results of analytics, and even interactively using data visualization can be made easier through robust metadata, including data provenance, accesses, segmentation, etc., and strong stewardship protocols operating on those metadata. Standardization and data quality improvement can be achieved through use of appropriate vocabulary standards as well. This is certainly an area we do not do well in. Reporting is different than analysis, and this should be understood by all who use data to, again, ensure data quality and real intelligence. Visualization, or how data are delivered to the end user, should be a lesson learned from EHR usability issues. This visualization must focus on the data and not the statistical processes which typical users are not familiar with and really don't care about. They want to know what the answer is. What's the real meaning to this data that I'm looking at? Updating but not creating unnecessary duplication in data stores to maintain currency and relevancy is essential. A V that could be added to the definition of big data is that of volatility. And finally, sharing data and its analysis, not just from the technical, semantic, or workflow interoperability perspectives, but from the policy perspective with respect to value-based care success, is critical. So we have now reached the end of Unit 6. The references here document resources for the content of this lecture, as well as make available some good starting points for your own future exploration of the topic. Be sure to take the assessment for this unit. There is also an optional activity in which you might look more closely either at apps using Smart on Fire for yourself or your employer, or to find interesting and unusual use cases for analytics.